How's it going, guys? Welcome back to the All Day Poker YouTube channel. My name is Josh, and today I'm going to be bringing you a hand review here from the PASCOOP $100 championship, as well as the satellite to get in. I figured I'd throw the satellite clips in there as well. But if you do not care about the satellite tournament at all, feel free to skip right ahead to the main tournament. That starts at around 42 minutes in the video. So without further ado, please enjoy the hands. Okay, we got 8-7 of diamonds here in the small blind. Could be looking at a 3-bet against an aggressive open from middle position. We're going to bump it up to 12 big blinds here with a nice little 3-bet bluff, and we get it through. Nice little first hand to get us started off. Okay, we're gonna open up King Queen offsuit in early position here to 2.2. Let's see, we got 25 seats available, and we get 3-bet by Mr. Chief here, but it's a very small 3-bet, so we might need to call just because of this price. But yeah, we're getting too good of a price to flop trips. What do you know? Hopefully he's got aces here. Would be excellent. How do we extract max value out of aces here? Do we want to go with the check call approach? I think we're just going to check call. And now we're going to check again. There's an off chance we could be up against ace king, but typically with these 3-bet pots, when they bet very small on the flop, it's not going to be ace king because they like to get all their money in with ace king because you don't even have a pair. We're going to bet small here on the river to make sure we get called by queens, jacks, tens. Let's see what he called us with. Jack 8 of hearts? He made a flush. Interesting. What in the... We're going to have to put a note that he 3-bet us with Jack 8 of hearts. Let's see here if I can type 3-bet Jack 8 suited in +1 over my 2 over my raise from under the gun. Let's look back at that hand and see if we could have done anything different. So he c-bets the flop with complete air, nothing but a backdoor flush draw. And then the 9 of hearts brings in the flush draw for him. So if we lead the turn, he's going to call a bet most likely with his flush draw. That's something we could have did. All right, we got King 7 offsuit here. We're going to raise it up to 4 bigs over this small blind limp, and we steal his limp. Always nice to pick up a small one. Now we got King 5. We're just going to fold after an early position raise, especially when he gets called. But yeah, going back to this trip king's hand. Let's see if I can pull it up here. It's hard. I definitely could have went bigger on the river, but I didn't want to scare him away from his pocket pairs that I put him on, like queens, jacks, or tens. They're going to have to call that bet on the river. Okay, now we got 9-7 suited here in the button. We're going to raise it up, 2 bigs. Going to have to fold to a 3-bet here, which we do not get 3-bet. And he leads into us on this flop. We make bottom pair and got some backdoor straight draws. We're going to call here. Now, when he checks to us on the turn, that king is very good for our range. We're going to throw out a half pot size bet, and he snap check raises 50% of his stack. Interesting spot. You don't see too many people check raising that quickly. So he had his mind made up. And there's no reason for us to call here because obviously he's going to go all in on the river. So we're just going to fold. When he's only got 12 big blinds behind after making that check raise on the turn, there's not really anything there for us. Because even if he's bluffing, he's going to jam the turn with his flush draws, and we don't really want to be getting it all in with him with our pair of 7s. So interesting play by that guy, though, to check raise the turn. Okay, we got king, queen offsuit here. In early position, facing an under the gun raise, so we're just going to call. We're not doing so well against his under the gun raising range with king, queen offsuit, so no reason to inflate the pot. Although we would not like to see a 3-bet here by any means from the big blind. That would be not good. So we'd have to fold. Hands we're doing okay against. Well, pocket jacks was a hand we were doing pretty good against. He bets big on this flop. Now we do have the king high flush draw, so we're just going to call here in position. We're going to take a turn of the 5 of clubs. Now we're going to have to fold here. We're not getting a good enough price, but even his bluffs are ahead of us. He could have the ace of hearts doing this, which we're basically drawing dead against. We're drawing to a king or queen. So we're just going to fold that. Maybe I could have check raised the flop, but he's got a much stronger range than us there. If I had hit the queen of hearts maybe on the flop there, we put in the check raise to put pressure on his ace of hearts hands that he's drawing to the nuts with. But that's all right. Okay, we got to see a free flop here in the big blind with 9-10 offsuit when it limps around to us. We miss this board completely. Could have some potential full houses in range with all the limpers in early position. A lot of people like to limp pocket 2s, pocket 3s, pocket 4s, pocket 5s, stuff like that. So let's see how this plays out. LPJ puts out a half pot size bet. I expect either a re-raise or a fold here. Yep. Okay, we got 8-4 suited here. We're getting a good price to try to limp in, see a flop. And we make second pair. We're going to check. We're beating flush draws currently. Hands like Jack 9. Can't fold just yet. And the deuce pairs the bottom card. We're going to check again. If he checks back, we can put him on some diamonds a lot of the time. But when he fires for half pot on this turn card here, hard to imagine that he doesn't just have a 10 here way too often. We're going to fold. When it's four ways like that and he's betting, he's not really ever going to be bluffing into three other people. So he's most likely just got a piece. Okay, now we got ace-8 of clubs here in the cutoff. And we're facing an under-the-gun raise, currently in 109th out of 173. Now this is an interesting spot here. We're just going to call. And we make top pair on a monotone board of 8-3 deuce. This is tough four ways because it's very possible that someone has a flush. I think we're gonna check raise jam here, the hopes that he's trying to represent one heart with his with an ace of hearts flush draw, and we're gonna price him out of drawing. And if he does not have a flush, certainly makes it look like we do, and we get it through. Nice little semi-bluff there. So we deny equity from hands that are drawing to the flush with the ace of hearts, king of hearts, queen of hearts that could be potentially playing like that. And we also make it look like we have a heart ourselves against his hands like, I don't know, 4-5 maybe for a straight, pocket nines, pocket tens, hands like that that have a very difficult time calling an all-in with two cards still left to come out. Now we got ace-jack suited here in the early position. Gonna raise it up 2.2. We get called on the button, so we're going to be playing out of position. On the flop of 7-7 queen, we miss completely. With this board three ways, I don't think there's too much merit to betting here. So we're going to check. And the queen of hearts on the turn is a good card for us, because now ace high is going to be good a large portion of the time. But we're going to check again to see if someone wants to take a stab at it and bluff, which they do not. Now, I think we're just going to check and call any bet that we see. This guy might try to put out a small bet with ace high himself. And he does. I think we just need to call here. Oh, and he was completely bluffing. Excellent. So I thought we were going to be chopping against ace high there, but that worked out well. We gave him the opportunity to bluff. Now let's go back and see. So yeah, see, if we bet flop, he's probably going to fold. If we bet turn, he's probably going to fold. So there's no merit to betting unless you're either getting better hands to fold or worse hands to call. So you don't always just bet when you think you have the best hand. You want to bet when you think there are hands that are worse than yours that can call, or hands that are better than yours that you can get to fold. So that worked out well there. Now you can get into some spicy situations if you do have the best hand. Let's say I check the flop like I did, and this river is a jack. Well, now, I guess no, I have ace jack. If the next card was an 8, well, now he's got me beat, and I'm going to have to check fold to most bets there. But that was a good turn card to allow him to bluff out on the river, and we win it with ace high. So that worked out well. Looking down at a premium pocket queens here on the button. Let's see if one of these guys... Okay, so LPJ limps here, which he has been doing quite a lot. We're going to raise it up 3x to 3 bigs here on the button. We get called by Pubco in the small blind, which is giving Al ACM a pretty good price to call, but he's only got 9 bigs, so he's either going to jam or fold there. He folds, and now back on LPJ, who decides to fold. So interesting flop here with all clubs. We do not have the queen of clubs, unfortunately. And he leads into us. I can't be scared of the flush here. Most likely he just has 1 club, which we are still ahead of. Unless he's got something like ace 9 of clubs, then I think we're basically flipping. Or ace, and he's got top pair. Excellent. No club in his hand. He's just trying to protect his 9 against overcards. See, now that, let's look back at that hand. So he bet thinking he had the best hand, trying to protect it against, if I have ace king with the ace of clubs potentially, he's getting value from me. But obviously, I had the overpair, and it did not work out well for him. That puts us up to 16th place out of 178. Very nice. And there are 25 places get a seat to the main event, so we're looking good right now. We got a nice little chip stack. We can start trying to push people around a little bit. A little more aggressive 3-betting and raising on the flop and turn. Let's see if we can keep these chips coming our way. Okay, we're going to be raising up our pocket 5s here in middle position to 2 big blinds. Would love to fade a 3-bet here. We obviously can't call 3-bet with our pocket 5s. And we're happy to see it fold around, because if we don't hit a 5 on the flop, hard to imagine we're going to be good. So it's nice to just take that one down pre-flop. Okay, pocket 9s here, early position, standard open 2.2. Now let's see if we get any action here. We do not. Another hand, we'll take it. Okay, with king 4 offsuit here in the small blind, I'm getting too good of a price. We're going to limp along. And look at that, we flop trips. We're going to check. Do need to worry about potential kicker issues with our trips going 5 ways here to this flop. Could be up against some better kings or maybe even pocket 7s. So we're not going to inflate this pot just yet. Now we got 10 of hearts, brings in a backdoor flush draw. And check it over to him. When he checks it back, we're almost guaranteed to be good. And now I think we're going to go for a 70% pot size bet, try to get called by a 7. Let's see, we got called. What did he call us with? You know, he called us with pocket aces. Poor guy. That's why you don't slow play aces. Got a nice little pot there with our king 4 offsuit. He might be mad. He shoved his whole stack in there next hand. Very nice. Nice little flopping trips. Pick up another good looking hand with our pocket 10s. Against an early position raise. for a very small 3-bet here, up to 6. Now I expect him to either fold or go all in. So he folds ace-jack, which is nice, because we're basically flipping against that hand. I think I got about 52% equity if we were to go all in pre-flop. But that very small 3-bet, when the stack sizes are very small, is a very strong play. So when he has only got 18 big blinds left and I raise 6, he's got to call 3.5 to see a flop. But calling 3.5 bigs out of your 18 big blind stack with the hopes of hitting an ace or a jack is just not a very smart play. So when I raise it up small like that, it's like I'm trying to keep him in the pot, which is a very strong play that a lot of people make with aces, kings, and queens, especially in these low stakes, but they don't mix in enough bluff. So that was kind of a semi-bluff there with our pocket tens, because if he would have shoved, I would have called, but it gives us a chance to pick it up pre-flop against hands that we're flipping against, like ace-jack, ace-queen, ace-king. Although ace-king, he's obviously not going to fold there, but ace-jack is probably the best possible hand that he was going to fold there, which is nice. So it's good to pick up a pot pre-flop without even seeing a board with our pocket tens. We are currently in 5th place out of 145, looking good. So the interesting dynamic with these satellite events is it doesn't matter if I come in 1st place or 31st place. They're all the same prize. So when I build a big chip stack here, I'm going to start playing very tight because I'm already in the money by a long shot. So I just need to hold on and protect my stack and try to finish in the top 31 places. Now I can't play too passively because there's still 142 people left and this is a very fast event. So we're just going to play carefully. But with our king 7 suited here, we're going to limp. We could face a jam here fairly frequently. I would have considered raising it up 3 big blinds, but I think he's just going to jam too much there, and I don't have the price to call. So now we're going to bet our middle pair against the big blind. Once again, weird spot. He doesn't really want to call off 1/13 of his stack there, but he doesn't really want to jam 13 big blinds to win a 2 or 3 big blind pot. So that's another benefit of keeping the pot small and just limping in from the small blind. Okay, we got 8-7 suited here in the small blind, and we were gonna play it, but not anymore. Cannot call against a jam. Unfortunate. Okay, limped, or folded to the small blind, and he limps, and we call, or we check back the 10-6 offsuit and drill top 2 pair. We're just gonna check on that dry, or call on that dry board. And we're gonna put out a small bet, half pot. He's gonna have to call us with an 8-10. And we pick up a small one. Excellent. We're in 12th currently, sitting on about 5 times the starting stack, which is nice. Looking good here. 34 places, get a seat. Okay, we got king 5 suited. It folded around us on the button. We're gonna be opening this one. And we pick up a small one. Excellent. Do need to be careful when you're on the button. You can open a very wide range, but you want to look at the stacks to your left. If they're sitting at around 10 big blinds or so, they're going to be shoving a very wide range. So you kind of want to tighten up your opening range just a little bit. But with the king 5, the king blocks a lot of his shoving range. He's going to shove king queen, king jack if they're doing that. But these guys to my left are up over 20 bigs, so they're not going to be shoving a very wide range. but we can play aggressively as we have a much larger stack than them. So that worked out well. Ace Jack suited here on the button. We're just going to open it up to 2 big blinds. Sitting in 27th place. 34 make the money. And on this very dry board, we're going to check. Ace high could very well still be good here. Expect him to call with a lot of king queens. And we're going to put in another check. I don't think the 7 will change too much. I think ace high is going to be good here a lot of the time. We're just going to check it back with our ace high. And we're good. Excellent. Could have got a little value on the turn from Queen Jack when he turned the open-ended straight draw, but I don't want to get check raised there on the turn. So we'll just keep the pot small, try to get to showdown with our ace high. And it worked out. Just played this hand, but I forgot to press the record button. So Justin let here, opened up to 2 big blinds, and I called with Jack 9 offsuit, and we flopped 3 of a kind, which is excellent. He bet small on the flop, and I just called. Turn queen of spades, shouldn't change too much. He could have picked up a queen, but I checked. And he checked it back, and then the ace on the river, I decided to bet pretty big here, 70% pot, targeting his ace-x hands that he was bluffing on the flop with. And he calls with ace-10. So we picked up a nice pot there, putting us up into 14th place out of 80 remaining. Once again, 34, get a seat. So we're in good shape. Now we got the king jack suited here in the small blind. We're going to be going for a 3-bet against this guy who's been opening up a pretty wide range of hands. So we'll raise him up to 7 big blinds. And hopefully he folds here. And he does. Excellent. See, we can play pretty aggressively in that spot since we both have a very large stack. He's not going to want to mess with us in this satellite style tournament because there's almost no incentive for him to play a big pot with us when we're both already in the money essentially, and we just need to hold on to our stack and make it to 34 people left because all the prizes from 1 through 34 are the same. there's no incentive to trying to build a huge stack and being in first place. So it's a nice little spot. We can pick up a pot out of position with our king jack suited. And if he calls there, it's still a pretty good hand that we can play with post flop. Okay, now we got pocket threes on the big blind, and we're going to be defending an all in. This is tough. See, I think this is going to be one of those spots here where we would call in any tournament, but not in a satellite, because pocket threes, best case scenario, we're flipping. We're going to be like a 52% favorite against any two cards that are over our threes. But for the odd chance we're up against pocket fours or better, we're dominated. And there's not really any reason I have to flip right here because I have such a large chip stack. I'm in 18th, I have 72. And I just need to get top 34. It doesn't matter where I finish. So there's not really any reason to risk taking a huge hit to my stack to get me from 18th up to, if we won that pot, it'd probably put us in top 5. But being top 5 doesn't matter. So it's kind of how it's a little different for these satellite tournaments. Okay, 8-9 of spades here on the big blind. We're going to be defending. Never mind. Not against an all-in, especially an early position jam. Very interesting. It's almost always going to have ace-king there. Because hands like aces, kings, and queens, while they're very good, you don't just want to jam it all in because you're not going to get value very often. You're banking on someone else having ace, king, queens, jacks, hands like that to call. But ace, king isn't a good enough hand to just slow play with a small raise or a limp, because if you don't make a pair and you're sitting there with ace high, not looking so good. Now we got 6-8 suited on the button, folds to us. We could open this one up, but there is a pretty significant chance we get jammed on. And when he opens, we're just going to fold. And look, he jammed anyways, so. See, that's why you got to be careful when you got short stacks on your left. You want to be opening a little tighter. Let's see, he showed what he jammed there. He showed ace-king, so nice. All right, we got king 10 suited here. Gonna open it up. 2 big blinds. Been pretty card dead the last 15 minutes or so. Haven't played anything, so we're dropped down to 28th or 27th out of 58. And we flop top pair here on a board that definitely favors his range over mine. So we got a little bit of deception that we could try to play here. He's all in, so excellent. We're happy to get it all in here. He's got nothing at all, and we pick it up. Excellent. Nice little chip up there. Gets us a little further away from 34th, where the money is. We're in 17th now, so we can play a little tighter. Try to hold on to our spot. First premium we've picked up in a while. We got the ace-king suited in middle position. Gonna open it up. We get called in the cutoff, and we flop the nut flush draw on a queen 3-3 board. We're gonna bet small here. Actually, you know what? We're just gonna check this one. Let him take a stab at it. And when he checks back, we can pretty confidently say that ace high is going to be good here a lot of the time. And we have our flush draw to go with it. And then we brick out on, or I'm sorry, we didn't brick out, we drill our flush. We're going to check. Oh, and he checks it back. Thought he was going to bet a queen there. Pocket tens, that's bad. Stupid play by me there. He's going to call a bet on the river, but I checked, trying to induce him to bluff at it. Oh, that's a bad play. Unfortunate. That one sucks. Stupid check on the river. Why do I check back the nut flush? Not the best. Not the best. Now we got ace-10 offsuit here. Early position. Gonna open it up. Currently in 10th place. 52 remaining, and it folds around. So we almost can say we got our seat locked up here with only 52 left. So we're going to be playing very, very tight. For example, we would defend this king deuce a lot of the time, but not here against this raise because we need to protect our stack. We'll happily finish in 34th place if necessary. Alright, it folded around the small blind. He limps. We're going to check our 10-6. Unfortunately, we do not flop top two pair with our 10-6 again, but we do have the gut shot to the straight. Against this small sizing, we're going to call. And that card is not very good, but I did play a pot against this guy before, and it went exactly like that. He bet the flop, checked the turn, and then folded to my bet on the turn. So a lot of players will 100% of the time bet on the flop, no matter what they have. And then if you call, they just assume you got something, and then they'll give up. So you can kind of try to keep an eye on people's habits and what they do. And I remember playing that hand against that player earlier, and we used that to our advantage. So it's nice to pick up a small one. Still sitting in 10th place. 47 people left. Need 13 more to bust out, and then we're in. Okay, we got king queen offsuit here on the small blind. This is another one where it's tough because we're in 17th. We're just gonna fold. Been folding a lot of good hands just because it's not worth risking. Like, I have nothing to gain from putting more money in. I don't care if I am in 16th or if I'm in first. So I think I could fold every single hand and still finish in the top 34. So that's pretty much what we're going to do. So I'll update you guys on any big hands that I'm folding or interesting things. Like ace queen. Like, I could fold this hand depending on the action, because if I raise it and get jammed on, I'm going to fold. But when it folds to me, I think it's safe to raise it up. So now let's see what happens here. I'd like to see a fold here. Excellent. So towards the end stages of satellites, it gets really boring because all the big stacks are just folding because they're basically already got their seat locked up. And all the small stacks are folding because they're just either going all in or folding. There's not really any play going on in between. So to get anything interesting to happen, you need a small stack to get a good hand that's worthy of them going all in with, and then you need a big stack to get a really, really good hand that's worthy of calling, which is unlikely. All right, I got ace-jack suited here. I'm in 27th. So I'm going to raise this up to 2 big blinds. We're going to have to start making a move here because we're creeping down towards... And we get called on the big blind. All in here. That's a bluff. Nice, we get it through. See, these pots start to get really important here towards the end because you don't want to risk busting. There's still 6 people left that need to bust in order to make it to the money. And as the tournament gets closer and closer to the bubble, these satellites, all the big stacks are folding. So the big stacks slowly start to come down to where the smaller stacks are when the smaller stacks are jamming. And it turns out where everyone is really close in chip stacks. Like, look at this. Everyone around the bubble, they're all sitting right around 30,000, and it gets very, very tight. So you win a small pot, you go from 30th up to like 17, which is very important. See, now I'm at 21st, I got a nice little buffer again, and even though I'm just sitting on 13 bigs, it's the stack, it's nice to have a little buffer there. But it's very slow. People do not want to bust, so it takes a while. All right, we got the pocket aces. This is the hand that it doesn't matter what situation you're in, you're playing it, obviously. And we're not out of the woods yet. We're in 24th with still 40 remaining. And at the rate people are busting out, we're going to need to play some hands eventually. So we're going all in here. And we get a classic cooler. Aces versus kings. And we hold. Excellent. So that pretty much locks us in to the first place. Oh, look. See, what we went straight to first place with one double up. That's how tight all the big stacks are playing, where now I can literally just click sit out and sit out every single hand, and I'll fold my way into a seat. That's nice. The aces keep us from having to sweat around this bubble. Unfortunate for Mr. Jason Evans. He gets his kings cracked by my aces, and probably won't be very many updates from here on out. I'll let you guys know when the bubble's going to burst, and then we can start getting into the real tournament hands. All right, here's another example of no reason to call. Pocket tens is a great hand, but we're going to fold because we're in 10th place, and we only need one person to bust. Now, I would think about calling if, like, LPJ would have went all in there, because if I win, then we're in. I bust him out, but there's no incentive for me to call against a big stack because I'm the one at risk of busting. Got one person left here. Just waiting at this point. Alrighty, we have got through the satellite. Now we're into the main tournament. Straight into 8-10 suited here. Middle position. Oh, what a glorious start. Now we try to get max value out of an ace in this pot. Now when he leads there, I think he might, there's a chance he has an ace. We are just going to flat call here though. And now we pick up the flush draw to go along with it. So if he bets, we're going to check raise here up to about 70. He goes all in with ace jack. Oh my, what a dream. What a dream spot. The very first hand in the tournament, we get a double up. Magnificent. Magnificent. Don't you just love to see it? All right, and that takes us right into 16th place out of 376. Here's the prize pool currently. Almost 15,000 up top, but that number is going to change because there's still late registration available for another 3 hours. So I imagine this is going to be, there's going to be a little over 100 places that are paid, and we'll see what we can do. We got ace 10 here. The small blind, we're just going to call against his early position raise. Not like to see a 3-bet here from the big blind. And we flop bottom pair with a gut shot to the nuts and a queen giving us a straight. But not the best board for us because this under the gun raiser is going to have a lot of ace king, ace queen, ace jack, pocket kings, pocket jacks, hands that are going to be way ahead of us here. But for this small bet, we're just going to call. See see what develops on the turn. We got a deuce of spades. We're just going to check again. We're going to have to fold to a bet here. Yep, we're out of there. All right, well, not a bad start to the tournament, getting an easy double up there against ace-jack. It's just a classic misplay of a hand. If we go back and look at that, when he gets check raised, when I check raise him on the turn, he can't think his ace-jack is good. Here, let's fast forward this all the way through. So when I check raise him on the flop, or on the turn, I don't know what he thinks I could possibly have, because he's not even beating my aces, because I raised up and he just flat called. So I have all the ace kings, the ace queens, pocket aces, all those hands that have him crushed. And then when there's 2 8s on the board, you can't feel that good about your ace. You don't really want to get it all in for over 100 big blinds. But we'll just say thank you to Mr. LPJ for his donation to our chip stack and move on. Now we got the old pocket 9s here in the cutoff. We're going to play aggressively against this raise. We're going to raise it up 3x to 7.2. This is a good player here. Raises it up in early position, so we can put him on a pretty strong range of hands. But our 9s are doing fairly well against all of those. We will be folding if he decides to 4-bet us. If he just flat calls, we'll happily play a pot in position with our pocket 9s. And he just flat calls. So now we're going to put out a bet because we're way ahead of his aces, or ahead of his ace king, ace queen that he would be calling with. He calls. So now we want to be a little bit concerned about hands like pocket 10s, pocket jacks, that would not 4-bet most likely, but would call on that flop. And we're going to check back for a little deception. And we make the second nuts. Actually, I guess it's the third nuts. We lose to pocket 6s and 6-7 of spades. That is all. So he checks it back again. I think he's got ace king here. Maybe we put out a small, we're going to go big here, make it look like a bluff with our pocket 9s. And we get called. Excellent. What did he call us with? Pocket jacks. Oh, rough situation for that guy. Interesting spot for him to check back on the river. I imagine he was thinking we were have ace king there, because we check back the turn. So he knows I wouldn't check back the turn with queens, kings, aces. So by checking back the turn, we made it under-rep the value of our hand. But we had him read pretty correctly there. He said he could have 10s or jacks. So we got really lucky with the river card there. Could have cost us some money. But if he checks the river on a different card, I think I would probably just check it back based on how the action went. But we get another huge pot early on in the tournament. That puts us up into 8th place. The early stages of this massive PASCOOP tournament. This is one of the biggest tournaments I've played in. $100 buy-in. Obviously we got in with the satellite, but I imagine there's already 433 entries. It's probably going to get up close to 800 to 1,000, so let's see what we can do. Another quick note on this hand. The reason I decided to 3-bet him pre-flop, or I guess one of the benefits of 3-betting him pre-flop here, is it gives me a much better idea of what his range of hands is. So obviously, if he decides to re-raise over my 3-bet, it pretty much guarantees that he has ace-king, aces, kings, queens, and those types of hands, which have us absolutely crushed, and we have an easy fold. But if he just calls, it basically takes those aces, kings, queens out of his range, which pretty much caps off his range at jacks and tens. So when the board comes out with all low cards, we are pretty confident that we have the best hand. But if I just flat called there pre-flop and it's this same board, he's going to be the aggressor and he's going to raise it up on the flop. And I just have to call and I'm not really sure where I'm at. So then he bets flop, I call. He's going to bet the turn. I'm going to have to call again because the 6 doesn't really change anything. And then if I don't get super lucky and drill a 9 on the river, I'm probably going to have to call a river bet unless it's an ace or a king, which would really kind of change up the dynamic and I would probably fold. But another benefit of 3-betting is I become the aggressor, so he has to worry about me having aces, kings, and queens, the hands that have him dominated, instead of the other way around. All right, we got the queen 9 offsuit here on the big blind, facing a limp from early position. The button limps along as well. We're just going to check this and see a flop. And we brick out completely. Got some backdoor flush and straight draws, but we're going to fold to a bet here on the flop. Not much reason to stick around here in a multi-way pot. All right, we're looking down at pocket queens here in the cutoff, facing a early position raise. This guy seems to be playing a wider variety of hands, but we don't have very much data to go on. He's only played 15 hands with us. So we're gonna, interesting. This guy jams it all in for 32 bigs. We're gonna jam our stack in as well. And now we pray to God that DLK does not have pocket aces or pocket kings. I think Philly's going to have ace king here. We're happy to flip. We got a slight edge over him with our pocket kings or pocket queens. Now we could have aces or kings, but we're not folding our pocket queens for 32 bigs. Let's see what happens with DLK here. He folds and we're up against ace queen. We got to fade an ace. Fade the ace. Excellent. We do. We get a nice little chip up there with our pocket queens. Now we got ace 10 offsuit here, facing an under the gun limp. We're going to play aggressive here, raise it up to 3 bigs. That hand just put us up into 9th place. So not too bad of a start, getting into 9th out of over about 500 entries. Right now we're in 9th, so we're looking good. Not exactly what we wanted to see here. We're not looking to play ace 10 multi-way. We flop a gut shot to the straight, any 5 giving us the wheel straight. But we are going to put in a check here multi-way. No reason to inflate this one. Now if it checks to us, and it doesn't. Now we're just going to fold. I could have went for a potential bet on the flop there to fold out some hands like king, queen, king, jack, stuff like that improved, but you really want to be careful when you're betting with ace high into 3 other people, because hands like pocket 7s, pocket 8s, pocket 9s, they're all going to call, and you don't really gain anything. Of course, we would have made the straight on the river, which is lovely, but can't feel too good about it because you're not going to get too much value when everyone sees that any ace makes it straight. So most likely you'd end up chopping with another ace, or you end up losing a lot of money if someone has ace six or pocket sixes, which are also hands. So let's see how this plays out. And pocket fours. Ooh, what a brutal river card for pocket fours. So good thing we got out of there. We would not wanted to call that turn bet with our ace high against his set. And let's see, the other guy called with ace eight. So he called with his gut shot, and it paid off for him, but we made the right play there. We'll just move on. All right, we're gonna play a little aggressive here with the queen seven of spades. Put in a little 3-bet bluff, and we get it through. Nice. Little card dead there for the last 15-20 minutes or so. So that kind of improves our image at the table, like we're playing very tight. So when we do raise it up, especially over a late position raise, he's going to be opening up a wide range of hands. That looks like a very strong play by us. So worked out well. Currently sitting at 20th place out of 579 total entries. 464 people remaining, and still a little over 2 hours left until late reg closes. Looking good. All right, now we got the pocket sixes. We're just gonna flat call against this early position raise, trying to set mine. Let's see, hopefully we don't get squeezed. We do not, so we get to see the flop for nice and cheap. We do not hit our six. Now we're just going to fold. It's pretty easy to set mine when you got a very deep, at about 200 bigs, but we're just going to check this one back, see if we can pick up maybe a 7 of diamonds. Ooh, not quite. If that was a 5 or a 7 of diamonds, that would have been nice. But can't feel confident about a 6 high flush draw. But it checks around again. I don't think we want to take a stab here. We're just going to check it again. And perhaps our 6 high flush is good. Oh, it definitely is when it checks around. No, the 7. Oh, unfortunate. Tough spot. I'm not going to try to bluff him off. If I knew he had a 7 of diamonds, I probably would have took a stab at it. But who knows if he's even going to fold the 7 of diamonds there. He probably would 4 ways, but it's just not worth it. Check it back. Take it to showdown. 6 of diamonds is going to be good there a decent portion of the time when it checks around. So no reason to raise it up and then get potentially check raised by the ace of diamonds, king of diamonds, hands like those. Let's see, what did everyone else have? 9-10. This guy checked his 9 all the way around. Understandable thing to do. He had, I'm here for the beer, had the gut shot to the straight. Yeah, pretty standard hand there. Alrighty, we got the pocket 9s here on the button. Let's see what we can do. I think I will most likely just flat call any open raise here because I'm on the button. I get to play in position. And we do want to have a strong calling range as well. We don't want to 3-bet every single hand. But if it folds to us, we're just going to open it up to 2 bigs. Okay, so I just 3-bet this guy with the queen 7 suited not too long ago. But I'm just going to flat call here. Oh, and look at that, the magical flop. Obviously we lose to queen 10, but that is basically it. Pocket queens, pocket jacks, or pocket kings, pocket jacks. Don't need to worry about that too much. And he checks it to us. Interesting. We're going to put out a half pot size bet here. And he folds. Interesting. Unfortunately, we don't get any action there. That board hit his range quite well. He could have just been raising it up there with smaller pocket pairs like 5, 6, 7s, but I don't imagine he would just check fold those pairs on that board. He would at least take a stab. So hard to put him on a hand when he check folds after raising pre-flop, but Little unfortunate we don't get paid off when we hit a set of 9s on the flop, but it's always nice to flop a set. And we're sitting at 24th out of 481 remaining players. Got the old pocket 7s here in middle position. We are going to raise this one up to 2.2. And we get check raised. Very quick check raise, if I might add. I think we're definitely deep enough with this player. He's over 150 bigs, as am I, to call and try to drill our set. Oh my God. Oh my God. Screw drilling a set. Why don't we just flop quads? Why don't we just flop quads? Now it's a matter of how do we get the most money in possible here. We're just going to call. He's got a lot of ace kings. I think we're just going to check this one back because we're in position. That'll allow him to bluff any of his missed hands on the flop. Oh, and he bets big. And we're going to go for it all here with our stone cold nut pocket 7s. Call, call. Oh, he calls us with the aces. Let's go. We get a huge double up. Huge. Oh, that put us right into first. Look at this. Look at this. Have you ever seen this good of luck? Oh my. Oh my, we flopped the quads against one of the biggest stacks in the tournament and we take him for his entire worth. Oh my. Oh my. Let's run it up. Straight into the pocket jacks, which we do not flop very well with 2 cards over our pair. We're going to put out a half pot size bet here, and we get it through. Oh my goodness. For those of you who are unaware, flopping quads with a pocket pair happens 0.2% of the time, which for you math nerds out there, happens 1 out of every 500 times you get a pocket pair. And you only get a pocket pair 1 out of every 17 hands. So it's not too bad of a time to flop quads against pocket aces against one of the biggest stacks in the tournament when we also have a big stack. Now we call with our deuces here to try to hit another set or quads. And we miss. So we're just going to check fold here. Oh my. In case you can't tell, I'm a little excited from flopping quads. And we get paid off. He calls our river jam with the pocket aces. Unbelievable. Unbelievable. Let's see. We are in first out of over 641 entries. My God. Let's keep this train rolling. Let's go, baby. Let's go. All right, the deck is on our side today. Straight into the pocket kings. We are going to put in a 3-bet here up to 6 bigs with our kings. Hopefully we get some action from, and we do not. See, I could try to slow play that, but there's no reason. If he has ace queen there, ace jack, ace 10, and he flops an ace, we're screwed. We want to get our money in when we got the good hands. It's unfortunate we don't get any action with our pocket kings there, but I can't only be raising my marginal hands. I raised queen 7 against him earlier, so we got to mix in our good and our bad hands to help keep ourselves balanced. But this game's pretty easy when you get pocket kings, when you get pocket 7s, and you flop quads. Oh my, we got it all going for us now. Let's just keep this run going. Let's keep it going. All right, we got the 6-7 suited under the gun. Gonna raise it up 2.2. Obviously folding to any 3-bet. All right, we get called in the cutoff. And oh my God, can I get any luckier? This is absurd. I flopped the nuts. The best possible hand on this board. I'm going to put out a half pot size bet. We're going to get called by 8s, over pairs, 10s, jacks, queens. All those are going to call, maybe raise. We could get raised by some flush draws here. In that case, we're going to put in a, ooh, that is not the card we wanted to see, but can't be too scared. We're only losing to pocket 8s, pocket 5s, and pocket 4s. We're going to size up a little bit, targeting his hands that do contain an 8. Oh, that's not what we wanted to see. Now the flush gets there. We're going to check. And call a bet here. I can't fold. He might have the is he gonna bet an 8? Is he gonna bet pocket? I think I gotta call. I gotta see it. Show me the don't have a flush, please. And he's got it. Damn it. Unfortunate. When you flop the best possible hand, you can't complain too much. I guess I just got to find a fold there on the river. I mean, with the paired board especially, he could have full houses that beat me. He had the flush that beat me. The way he played, just calling down on the flop and turn, it's likely he has a flush draw. Got to be able to get away from it when the flush comes in, though. Straight in the big blind, we're going to defend our 7-10 suited. And, oh my God, we cannot miss a flop. We flop this flush draw with a gut shot to the straight. We're going to check raise here because this board favors our range much more so than the pre-flop raiser. And let's see how he reacts. He calls and we drill our flush. So now we're going to put out a 70% pot bet here with our flush and fold. So we win our chips back from that guy. Straight into the pocket aces. Oh my goodness. This is absolutely ridiculous. I've never run this good in a tournament in my life. Let's keep up the pressure here. Gonna raise this one up to 7 bigs from the small blind with our aces, and we get cold called from the big blind, which is always good to see. Flop of Jack 10-4. I think it's pretty safe. We're gonna bet a half pot size bet here. We do need to worry about some jacks and 10s. And now it just keeps getting worse. We're losing to pocket 10s, pocket jacks, pocket queens, all hands that the big blind would cold call with, and I'm here for the beer would call our 3-bet with. So we're going to play this one a little bit tentatively. We don't want to get it all in. Against this guy, though, he's been playing very aggressive. I don't think I have it in me to fold my pocket aces here. If he shows us a set, we're just going to, it's just going to be unfortunate, but we're calling. And he's got 2 pair. Oh, and we drilled a pair of 4s on the river to take it down. Oh my God. Does it get any better than this? This is absurd. And straight into ace queen. I cannot get oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. This is ridiculous. We're just going to flat call here with the ace queen on the button against this early position raise. Back to back to back hands. We're just drilling. We got pocket kings. Oh my. We missed this one. Not completely though. We do have a gut shot to the nuts. Any jack. And it checks to us. We're just going to... Actually, we're going to put out a Small bluff here. 3.5 bigs. Targeting this big blind's range is going to be very wide, so he's going to be folding a lot here. And when the preflop aggressor checks, it's unlikely he has a very strong hand. Unless we get check raised, then it's an easy fold. But interesting board for him to check on. And he folds. Excellent. We get it through. All right. We got the Jack 10 suited here. Middle position against this under the gun raise. We're going to take the aggressive approach, raise it up to 6. And we're going to fold to a 4-bet. But I have not been playing super aggressive, so this comes off as a very strong play. Apparently not strong enough, because he jams it right back in our face, but that's all right. Mr. Twins Pins, you can have this one. Probably just has ace-king. We'll happily fold. Sometimes your bluffs don't work, but still gotta go for it sometimes. All right, we're gonna be defending our big blind with the 6-7 offsuit here. Getting a good price against this middle position raise and the button call. And we make top pair with our 7. Do not have a good kicker, but we're gonna call any bet here on the flop. I guess not any bet if you went all in, but the pre-flop aggressor checks over to the button, who checks it also. At this point, I think it's safe to start value betting our 7. We don't want anyone to see a free river with someone who could have a diamond, or a hand like an ace could drill a 4 on the river if we give him a free card. And we get a nice little, almost like a semi-bluff when you're betting a hand like 6-7 there. But it is still top pair, so you're ahead of the vast majority of hands. But it's good to get a nice little pot pulled our way. We're sitting in 4th right now out of 454 people left. 952 entries. 143 places paid, so hard to imagine we end up leaving this tournament empty-handed. Bit over 14,000 up top. Let's try to get it. We're going to raise up Queen 6 suited here on the button when it folds to us. We get snap jammed on. It's easy fold here. All right, we're going to defend our big blind here with the King 7, and we make top pair. Have to assume we're good here with our top pair. And he snap checks it back. Interesting. I think I'm going to check it over to him again and let him... Oh, that's not good. It was not the card we were hoping to see. Now we just try to get to showdown. Unfortunate. Unfortunate there. 4 to a royal flush. That means nothing. Unfortunate turn card, but I probably could have... I think he would have folded if I bet flop or turn, but I was trying to get a little more value, try to induce a bluff out of him, but didn't work. That's all right. Still in 4th. Looking good. Okay, now we got the ace 10 suited. Gonna raise it up 2.2 in middle position. Gonna fold to any 3 bets. We missed this board. It's going to connect pretty well with the big blind's range. We do have the 10 of clubs, which blocks some straight draws and some flush draws. But we're going to check this one back. And a king of diamonds is great for our range. We're going to put in a half pot size bluff here. I expect him to call with a jack, unfortunately, but we could probably bluff him off a jack on the river, depending on the card, but no need because he folds. Very nice. Okay, we got the pocket sixes in the big blind, or I'm sorry, in the small blind. And facing an early position raise, we're just gonna flat call here. And we do not improve on the turn, or on the flop. We're just gonna check fold. Should have connected relatively well with this board. And he checks it back. Interesting. We're going to start a nice little semi-bluff here. Small bet on the turn. Should fold out all of his ace kings. King jack. King jack will call. That's not a good card. Now he's going to be incentivized to call with ace high, and we are relegated to playing the board. So we're just going to check fold here. When our sixes get counterfeited, that's when you got a pair, but then there are two pairs on the board higher than yours. Could go for the check raise here and try to get him to fold an ace high, but it's unlikely. That's all right. Okay, we're going to raise up king, queen suited here in early position to 2.2. And we get snap jammed by Team Tess. I think I'm getting too good of a price to fold here. We're up against ace queen, not good. Show us the king. Nope. That sucks. That sucks. Unfortunate. Okay, we're looking at the pocket fives in the small blind. It's very dependent what happens before us will determine what we do. I'm just going to call this bet here with the pocket fives. That's a pretty good flop for pocket fives with the 5 of diamonds. Got the flush draw. It's not a very good flush draw, but I think it's a bit early to fold to this bet. We pick up an open-ended straight draw. On the turn, and he jams on us. Tough spot here. Have to assume he's doing this with a better flush draw than us. We're gonna fold here. That's tough. He could have a flush already. Certainly has those hands in range with all those overcards, king jack, queen 10, ace king, all those hands. More than likely he has one of those hands with just a single diamond, but tough spot there. I don't know, maybe I should have called. Don't want to play too passively. As the big stack on the table, you want to try to play aggressive. Not with the pocket twos, though. Kind of just want to set mine here. Try to catch a 2 on the flop. Unfortunate. We get squeezed out there. Hate to see it. Hate to see it. Getting beat up a little over these past few hands. down to 23rd place. 408 remaining. 159 places are paid. We're going to be raising up the ace-9 offsuit here. In the cutoff. We know this player on the big blind has a very wide 3-betting range. And we flop trips again. We are running so hot this tournament. We're going to bet small. Try to induce a raise here from the big blind. You know, they like to get a little aggressive, and this board does not favor our range whatsoever. When he just flat calls, put him on a lot of flush draws, although we do block the nut flush with the ace of hearts. And we're going to bet a 70% pot here. And hopefully he jams on us with a flush draw. That would be excellent. Nope, he folds. All right. We'll take it. Always nice to flop trips. Okay, we're going to raise up 9-7 suited here. Middle position. We get called on the button. And we miss this flop, unfortunately, but ace high flop is going to be much better for our range. But 3 ways, I think I'm just going to check. We pick up a pair on the turn, not a very good one, and then he leads out. Tough spot. I don't like it. I'm just going to fold. Could be ahead of some flush draws, but I don't think I'm going to be able to call a jam on the river. But let's see how it plays out. The flush draw would have missed, both of them. So is he going to rip it all in? He does. Hopefully we see a call here. And we do not get to see. Okay, we got ace-10 suited here, facing an under-the-gun raise and a button call. I'm going to go for the 3-bet bluff here and raise it up to 8 big blinds. Now, this is a very strong play, and it's great when the under-the-gun player folds, because this guy on the button here capped his range by just calling the initial raise, and he calls. Interesting. He could be calling with a lot of 7s, 8s, but can't be too scared of that. We're going to throw out a half pot size bet here with our top pair, top kicker. And he folds. Excellent. Nice little play there. Put in the 3-bet with our ace-10. And we clear out the under-the-gun raise. You see, it's a very strong range, so it's very nice. Up to 16th out of 377 remaining. Late registration is done in 7 minutes. Top prize is a little over 17,000 right now, so let's battle it out. We got king queen suited here, or not suited, offsuit. Gonna raise it up to 2 big blinds. Gonna have to fold to a jam here on the big blind, which is very possible given his stack size. Also, The small blind call, it's going to incentivize a jam from the big blind more than if it was just heads up. Checks to us. On this board, we completely miss. We're going to check it back. 5 brings in some straights. Think we're going to check this one back again. King high could be good here, but it's unlikely. Let's see if king high is good. It is not. They both had ace high. Could have potentially went for a bluff there to get ace highs to fold. Probably would have been the right play. I think I'm a little hesitant to bluff into 2 people, but I need to play more aggressive because obviously we would have been able to pull that pot in if we raised that up at some point. On the flop we would have got folds, on the turn we would have got folds. Playing a little too passive. Okay, we got king 10 suited here in middle position. Gonna open it up, 2.2. We get called on the button by another pretty big stack. We would not want to get jammed on here at all. Okay. Now on this dry board, I'm going to put out a c-bet of 2.8 big blinds, and we get it through. Nice. Straight into the pocket sevens. Our favorite hand. At least for this tournament it is. Gonna open it up to 2.2 again. Not 12. Now let's see what happens here. Folds around. We'll take it. All right, we look down at the pocket aces here in the small blind, facing an early position raise. We're going to be putting in a 3-bet, trying to play for stacks. All right, we're going to raise this one up to 7 big blinds. Let's see, we would love a re-raise, would be excellent. We've been bluffing here in this spot quite a bit, so he could think we're bluffing again, which would be a dream spot. He just flat calls. We'll take it. On this board, we're going to bet pretty small here. We're going to go for about a 1/3 size pot bet and bet 4.32, make it look like a random number. And he folds. Unfortunate, but good to pull it our way. Okay, we got the ace-jack offsuit here in early position. Gonna open it up 2.2. Would not like to get 3-bet with this hand. Folds to the big blind, who's going to defend a wide range of his hands. Not the flop we were looking for, without a heart in our hand. But I think against the big blind's range, we're going to bet small here. And he calls. And snap checks it back. I think we're going to put in another bet and size up a little bit here to price him out of any flush draw that he may have. And now I think we've got to go for some value with our queens. If we had them, going to go for a 70% pot bet and pray for a fold. This bet puts him in a real tough spot. He's not going to want to call off over half of his stack. And it doesn't seem like if he goes all in, I'm going to be able to fold because I'll be getting such a good price. So we'd love to see a fold here. Come on. Fold, 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 fold. Yes, let's go. We get a nice 3-barrel bluff through. Not often do you have to fire on the flop, turn, and river to get a bluff through. It's very rare, but it worked out there. Very nice little pot we pull in with ace high. And we move up to 12th out of 291 remaining. 17,600 up top. 175 places paid, so let's keep it up. Now we're looking at the big slick ace-king offsuit, facing a raise from middle position. We're going to raise it up to 6 big blinds. We're happy to get it all in here with ace-king against this man, but hard to imagine he's going to be jamming with a bluff. But as long as we're not up against aces or kings, we're happy to get it in. And he's got jacks. And we hit the king, but he hit the jack. Unfortunate. Oh, that's a big pot there. We get it in. It's a coin flip. And we lose. Unfortunate. That puts us down to 42nd out of 275 remaining. That one hurts. That's all right. Can't win all your flips. Alrighty. We got the pocket eights here in the big blind. We're going to go for a 3-bet here up to 8 big blinds. Puts him in a tough spot off his 30 big blind stack. We get called. So interesting spot, but on an ace high board we're going to have to c-bet because we have all the strong aces in our range from 3-betting, and we pick it up. Very nice little pot we're scooping. Now we got ace 10 here in the small blind. We're just going to fold here. Against this all-in, it's only 5 bigs, but it's kind of difficult for us because we have a big stack left to act behind us. And we might not even be good against this shoving range anyways. Straight back into another pair of 8s. Facing an under-the-gun raise. We're just going to be calling here on the button. Oh. I am actually going to fold my pocket 8s here. With that much action in early position, they're all going to be playing very strong hands. And I don't want to have to call and then something like that happen. And I don't want to go all in myself with pocket 8s for over 50 big blinds. So we would have lost, but it would have been, we would have got our money in pretty good with the pocket 7s we had dominated and we're flipping against the ace 9. We would have lost to the ace 9, but it's a pretty safe fold there. Now we got ace queen offsuit. We're just going to flat call here. We don't want him to fold out a lot of worse hands, I guess. So he checks. Now we are going to put out a small bet. With our ace queen, we do have a gut shot to the straight, and we don't block any flush draws that he might have. He calls. So now we're going to check back. Right here. I think he might be trying to trap us with something, so we're going to tread carefully here. Nope. Just check back, see if we can drill a jack on the river there. Now we're going to check fold. Or I guess we're not check folding, we're just going to fold because we are in position. The only thing we're beating are missed draws. Actually, this could merit... You know what? I think he's got a 10, to be honest. I'm just going to fold there. I think he bets any flush draw he has on the flop. So he would definitely check a lot of 10s on that flop and then try to go for some thin value on the river. So that's all right. Currently sitting in 43rd, 249 remaining. Okay, folded around to the small blind, who limped in, and we checked our option with the 5-4 offsuit. And we flopped a gut shot to the straight. We're going to peel once. We're going to check fold here. If he bets... It's out half pot. We're just going to fold. Look at what Alex just sent us. Okay, we got the king-queen offsuit here in late position. We're going to raise it up. 2 big blinds, and we get 3-bet. This guy has been playing very aggressive. So he's probably 3-betting a wide range, but that makes our decision easier when he jams. Now we get to see what Philly Tax Guy has been 3-betting with. Hard to imagine he folds here. Getting such a good price. Need to call 10 to win 26. I guess, no, 10 to win 36. Tough spot for him because he's getting such a good price, but as I mentioned, he's 3-betting so wide that, yeah, he's going to have a lot of bluffs in range. Alrighty, we got ace-5 suited here in early position. I'm gonna raise it up. Folds around to the big blind. And he just calls. We got a pretty wet and connected board here with the 8-8-10. We miss completely. We're going to put out a small bet here of 2.6, a little less than half pot. We got all the overpairs in hand, and that is an excellent card to continue with here. We're going to size up to about 70% pot, and he folds. Excellent. Okay, the big blind, or the button raised here to 2 bigs. Small blind called, and I called with my 8-5 suited, and we improved to a flush here on the turn. Hopefully this small blind here bets out now after it checked around the flop. And we do have potential to improve to a straight flush draw with a 4. So he bets. I think I am going to go with the check raise up to 8 big blinds with my flush to protect against better flushes. If he has the ace or king of spades, then he just folds. All right, we'll take it. Could have potentially flat called there, but you really do not want to see another spade, because then you're losing to a bunch of hands, and he's not going to fold that price if he's got the ace or king of spades, most likely. All right, we're going to defend our big blind here with the 3-6 suited, and we flop a flush draw on a king high board. He's probably connected with this king. He bets small on the flop. We're just going to call. We make a pair on the turn. And he checks it back. So now I'm going to put out a 70% pot bet with our flush. He folds. Probably had a hand like ace queen, ace jack. Nice to pick up a pot. All right, we got the ace king offsuit here. Another premium. Haven't seen one of these in a while, but we're happy to get it all in against any of these opponents. Like to see a raise here from the button, which we do. Now we get to 3-bet this one up to 7 big blinds, and he folds. We'll take it. Always good to take down a pot with ace-king pre-flop. Never know if you're going to hit the board anyways. All right, we got ace-4 suited here in the cutoff, facing a raise from the hijack. We're going to put in a 3-bet to 6 big blinds with our ace-4 suited here. Nice little 3-bet bluff. Put some pressure on the short stack, and we get it through. Excellent. Now we are looking at the ace-queen, sitting in 29th out of 185 remaining. We're getting close to the bubble with 185 places paid. We're going to just flat this time. Don't want to 3-bet him again. Don't want to get shoved on. And Philly Tax Guy does the shoving. Tough spot here with the ace-queen, but hard to imagine he's jamming all in here with air. So at best, we're flipping with against a hand like pocket jacks or tens. But worst case scenario, we're up against ace queen, pocket aces, pocket kings, pocket queens. And he has been playing aggressive, so he could potentially be making a play with ace, jack, king, queen, but it's very unlikely that he's just going to jam those this close to the money. All right, we got ace 9 offsuit here. I think this is going to be another 3-bet bluff spot against this shorter stack. We can push him around as we approach the money bubble. And if we get jammed on, we're just going to fold. Interesting sizing he elected to use there. We're going to go for a 8 big blind raise here in the small blind. Puts a lot of pressure on his weaker holdings that he's raising up here. And we're hoping for a fold, which we get. Excellent. See, as the big stack on the bubble, I can put a ton of pressure on these shorter stacks here because I have them covered. And if I 3-bet pre-flop, it puts a ton of pressure on them because they're trying to hold on for one more person to bust so they can get the minimum cash of $211. Especially these stacks that have 20 or so big blinds, because you look around, there are people with 9, and Gaia here is not going to want to go out before twins pins does. That would be detrimental. So a nice little 3-bet bluff we get through there. All right, the bubble has burst. Now we got pocket 8s here. Unfortunately, twins pins jams it all in. Now, I'd love to get it all in heads up against him, but we got 4 people to act behind, so we're just going to fold our pocket 8s. See if anyone calls. All right, we're going to see if we made a good or bad fold. We made a horrendous fold, but that's all right. I can't just really flat call there because then that shows weakness and it allows someone behind me to re-raise, and then I'm not in a good position to call with my pocket 8s there. Unfortunate, but it's the way it goes sometimes. All right, we got ace 8 offsuit here. We're gonna raise it up 2 big blinds. And we get called. And on this board, we're going to assume ace high is going to be good fairly frequently. We're going to put out a bet of 2.4, about half size, half pot. Do not want to get check raised here, which we do, which is unfortunate. But he hits us with the min check raise. We're going to peel one. And we're just going to fold. Unfortunate. Hi, Keeks. All right, we got Queen Jack suited here. Gonna raise it up 2.2. Folds around to the big blind. Who makes the call. And on this ace high board, we're going to check for a little bit of deception, I think I would check some aces here. And if he bets, we're going to go for a check raise. So he checks again. We're going to bet out a small bet of 2 big blinds. And he calls. Now this king is great for our range. We're going to increase the sizing and go for a 70% pot size bet. And we get it through. Excellent. Keeks, you spider kittying. Why are you spider kittying? Alright, we're going to defend our big blind with the ace-3. And we miss this board completely. And we're going to fold. Down to 56th, 62nd out of 145. Beat up these last few hands, but that's alright. Okay, I'm going to raise up Queen 9 suited here. 2 big blinds. Chef Daddy Issues calls. He has been playing a wide range of hands. Fortunately, we miss this flop. Actually, no, we do make a pair of 9s. Gonna check it. And Chef Daddy Issues checks back, but he's been playing very aggressive, so we can pretty much eliminate him from having very many good hands. Johnny Radical here goes for a bet. I'm going to call with my second pair, and that's not what we wanted to see. We get to see a free river. Hopefully our 9 is good. It's not. He had a set of 2s. Perhaps we could have went for the bluff there with our pair of 9s, represent a club, but after checking the flop as the pre-flop aggressor, takes a lot of those club hands out of our range. Okay, nice. So we flop top pair here on a board with a flush draw and many straight draw opportunities. I'm going to bet half pot here on the flop. And we get it through. Nice. Alright, we got pocket 5s in the big blind. Let's see what Doodle Dot does here in the small blind. He just limps. We're going to be raising this up to 3.5 big blinds. And he folds. Nice. Another premium here with the pocket jacks. Facing under the gun limp, followed by a snap raise from early position. I don't love this spot, to be honest. I'm just going to flat call here in the small blind. And we flop an overpair. I'm worried about what Samuel here has. He's representing a very strong range. Could have queens, kings, and aces. We're just going to call his bet on the flop. Queen brings in a card over our pair. And he puts us all in. This sucks. This sucks. We're going to fold. He's just got too many hands that beat us there. He could have ace-king there. I think I maybe should have went for the 3-bet pre-flop, but I was worried that he was going to re-jam over, or jam over top of me, and then I would have had to fold. That was a big pot to lose there. We're down to 96th out of 131 remaining. Unfortunate. Now we got ace-5 of diamonds. Facing a limp from this player, which is very interesting. We're just going to limp along here. I don't like what he is limping. Oh, and he folds. A lot of players will limp hands like aces and kings when you get down to less than 15 big blinds. And this guy's a competent player, so I was really worried about that. It's a good thing I limped along. If he was Philly tax guy was going to jam behind us, so we would have had to fold our ace-5 anyways. Oh, we're getting put in some real tough spots here. All right, we got pocket tens here, down to 10 bigs. We're all in here over Doodle Dodd's raise. Oh no, we get snap shoved over by Philly tax guy. That's not good. We could be up against a bigger pair than us. Hopefully he's got ace-king. He's got ace-king. We got to hold. Let's go. No ace, no king. Come on. Let's go. We got the double up. Huge, huge. We're back in it. Goes from 105th up to 71st place. Give us a nice little stack. We're up to 25 bigs. That's what we needed. Oh, we were running pretty cold there for a while. We weren't getting paid off when we were making hands. We were losing with our big hands. Pocket jacks, we lost a big one. Ace king, we lost a big one. But our tens hold against ace king. Let's go. Okay, we got king 10 suited here on the button. We're going to raise it up if Doodle Dodd folds here, which he does. Raise it up 2 big blinds. We get called by Mr. Chef Daddy Issues. Oh, this guy's been playing very aggressive, playing a lot of pots. Don't really want to mess with him. We're going to wait. See, against these loose, aggressive players, you don't want to try to bluff them. You want to wait until you get a good hand and just let them bluff into you and just keep calling. That's how you're going to exploit those players for the most expected value to be gained. All right, we got pocket tens here in middle position. We're going to raise it up 2 big blinds. We're going to call any jams here. All right. We're all in, calling this guy's jam. Hopefully he doesn't have us dominated. He's got ace-king. We need it to hold again. Let's go. Come on. No ace, no king, no ace, no king, no spade. No! Oh, he hit the king on the river. No, and we're out. Oh, he hit it on the river. Why couldn't he just hit it on the flop and take us out of put us out of our misery? No, he had to give us hope. Had to give us hope. Ah, that is unfortunate. Unfortunate. And that is it for the PASCOOP Spring Special Championship Trophy event. We ran it up pretty well there. We were running extremely well at the early stages. Got up into first place early on in the tournament. And then some bad luck hit us later on after the money bubble burst. Lost a big hand there with ace-king against pocket jacks. And then we're hanging around for a little bit, but we finished in 90th place. Got a nice payout of $294. A little unfortunate when we were up in first for a while there. But what are you going to do? We lost our flip 10s against ace king. We just won a flip with 10s against ace king. So that's going to be it from me. I appreciate you guys tuning in. And as usual, please like and subscribe and leave a comment. And take care.